Hey guys, Psychic here, and welcome back to another episode of Cave Factory with me. Hello. And I'm already using our infinite liquid stuff. Look at it. Look at it. I have it doing blazing blood. So that way I can smelt all of my iron. Forever. So, yeah, because otherwise I'd have to do the blaze. I'm just happy I get to do this. So I've had this running for a while. I'm having tons of iron. It doesn't look like it, but that's because I've been slowly putting it into our system. So right now I'm sitting at a little over 13,000 ingots, almost 14,000, and I believe I still have a good chunk still in here. Yep, I have almost 9,500 iron ore still left. So I think I'm doing good pretty much with that. I've been also smelting a bunch of coal, which is why I have almost 100,000 coal. Just kind of going through with that, trying to get our materials down. Because as we talked about last episode, it's gonna be a bit before I do the challenges with the infinite storage part because I need so much material. The only thing I think I really need at this point, other than sand for glass, which is I can get a ton of sand, and I forget how now that I'm thinking about it, but that's okay. Where's sand on my list? Am I blind? I'm blind to the sand. I saw sandstone. Where's sand? There's sand. Let's see. Mana infusion. I think that's the way I was going to do it because I have so much cobblestone. And then the same can be actually said about our quartz situation because I do remember I said last episode I would make more of the nether generators. But then I remembered that with quartz, if you use the... This will be better if I do it this way. If I use the Britannia Conjuring Catalyst, I can double my quartz just using a little bit of mana, but because we have infinite mana, it's not going to be any problem. And I could probably set up some weird looping system with a, like, ender hopper and a dropper. Or not a dropper. What is it called? The box from Britannia that does the dropping. I forget what it's called. I literally have just been using them this entire time. And I have just logged into the world, so I'm lagging a minute. I've done a lot, so it doesn't like me. What do you call open crate? Yeah. Some weird looping system where it will constantly drop it into the infinite mana. So I could probably do that. So I need to do a bunch of that off camera though, because that would be extremely boring to watch and probably very laggy, more than what I'm experiencing now. So I do have some ideas of how we can do this. Like I said before, I do think I have enough nether stars, so it's all just going into, like, the processor binding, which this isn't going to be bad to get slime and all that, or just blood string. I have systems for all that. I now have all the nether quartz that I could possibly need. It's just a matter of kind of putting it all together and how much I need of each material. But that will be mostly, if not completely off camera. I'll just show, like, the different machines that I set up if I set them up, so on and so forth. Anyway, back to challenges. I have, off camera, and this took a second, made both of the creative capacitors that I need. Now, we've made this once before, which is why we have infinite energy. It's just one HV capacitor with 4 ultimate catalysts, but each of those ultimate catalysts requires a ultimate component with 80 other HV capacitors, and they do have to be full of power because I did test it with an empty and it didn't do it. So the way that I've been doing this is if we go to our immersive engineering building, I set up this little thing. There is probably, and I'm sure there is, a little bit more of an efficient system to charge them than this. But this is what I did. I set up just a line of HV capacitors on the wall back here, so they're always getting power from my one infinite one. And I have it where the bottoms are outputting. Because when you make an HV capacitor, it's automatically where the top is always an input. And all of the other sides are empty. So by making this the output, I can just put blank ones here and not have to change anything with a hammer or anything like that. They'll just fill up with power. And then I can break them and they'll stack and it's all nice and neat. So I did that. Did take a while because the transfer of power isn't too terribly quick, and even with infinite power is great, but it's not, like, super speeds, for filling. But we went ahead and got those, and I got the rest of the materials that I needed in order to do specifically the creative jetpack, which now, of course, we don't need because I have that trinket. But it's a quest, so I'm still gonna do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab one of these creative capacitors, and the quest I'm talking about is this creative jetpack, so it's creative flight at last. And all you needed was some netherite blocks, more ultimate components, which is a lot of ultimate ingots, which none of these, some of these, I don't like doing this. It's too many ingots to keep track of because I keep forgetting, but it's fine. It's relatively easy if you just make enough of each. And then you just needed an emerald jetpack. And the emerald jetpack is emerald thrusters, which is ultimate coils, ultimate energy cells. These are all pretty easy to make, actually, which is why I did it so far ahead of time, because I actually did this, like, well, my time is like 2 months ago, but for you, it was just a couple episodes ago. But it's relatively easy, and it's just a matter of, like, layering it up. A bunch of it's, like, coils, and all it is sticks, whatever your material is, redstone, that sort of thing, so... And then you go to invart, or steel, or electrum, or gold. I think I did gold, because that made sense to me. Yeah, gold, and then I did iron, and then iron stone, and then stone's wood, and then you make a leather strap. So... pretty straightforward, just layers of stuff, as like a lot of things that we do are. So if I just go ahead and type in jetpack here, and and because I made a couple extra of these, we get a creative jetpack, and that'll complete our quest. So that's another challenge quest completed. And I believe the way this would work is, because it's iron jetpacks, I think I've done this before. You just wear it. I wonder if it would fit in one of these. Oops, I didn't mean to turn that off. If it fits in one of these, it's not gonna show me, because it probably doesn't. So it's definitely something that you'd have to wear. And I'm not even sure if I could show it off properly, because I have creative flight anyway. So, but yeah, that's nice to have. So we have that now, and I'm just gonna slap it in here with our ultimate singularity for now. Cool. The other one, and why we needed 2 creative jetpacks, no, creative capacitors, is we need to make a creative motor for create. I almost said immersive engineering. That was going to be wrong. And this is also really easy to craft. Once you get the creative capacitor, of course. It requires a furnace engine, and then all you have to do is put it in a deployer. So I don't remember if I made a furnace engine. Furnace. I did not. So let's go ahead and make one of those real quick. So furnace engine. Okay, so I do need to do this mechanical crafting. It is a piston brace casing. So brass casing. I think I did some of this. Got the materials for it. Now I need some more of these. That's okay. I need 5 of these total, so get 2 more of those. Need 2 of these, okay, and then just a piston. Sticky piston will do just fine, and that should be it. So let's go ahead and go up back to our create building, and I gotta turn my... Well, my magnet's been off, that's good. Oh, the lapis. I've been smelting things this way too, and the lapis, or I'm assuming this would happen with redstone. It's so much at once, because I put a stack in here at a time, sometimes more. It gets a little clogged. It's like, it almost like too fast. But anyway, I need to somehow use this. Though I don't think I have it connected to anything, so... Let me see. Yeah, I don't have this connected to anything over here. How can I could do a hand crank. I don't know if it'll be enough. But I could try to do a hand crank. But I'd have to do a hand crank for both the bottom and the top. I don't think I have those connected that way. Hang on, let me do thinking. I need to break that with pickaxe so I can actually get it. Put that there. No, hang on. Because I need this to move. Well, actually, I don't need this to move on the bottom, so I could do something like that. All I need on the bottom, actually, is a... whatever, the depot. Do I have an extra depot? I do not. But I can make one. Depot. No. How do I make... I just need a depot. Let's see. Andesite casing. I just need more. Oh, I've been using all of my planks. Hang on. Twilight. My most popular wood type I have now. Twilight, because those were big trees that I knocked down. And I need an andesite casing. That'll give me 4, and then with that, I can make a depot, and then from here, I can break this. And then all I have to do, I believe, is... Well, I have to do mechanical crafting first. Hang on. Let's go downstairs real quick. Oh, and then I also need to flatten things. Do I still have that available to me? How did I do that before? How do I press? I don't have that. What was my other way of doing this? I could do it in a metal press that way, or I could put it in a casting table. All of these are not good ways because I don't have access to them. I can craft a mechanical press. Does that also do in the depot? No, it just presses. That's fine by me. I can hand crank a press. Let's move that and then move that. Do this, do that. Magnet off. Perfect. That worked a little better than I thought it would. I thought it wouldn't work at all. Alright, now we're gonna go do our mechanical crafting. And if I remember this correctly, it should be this casing in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sticky piston, and then that, and then this, and then force it. Oh, I forgot it's gonna go all the way from the top, because that's just how this works. Ah! Okay, well... This shouldn't take too long, right? I thought I made one of these before. Okay, we'll let that go for a second. Because that'll craft and pop out somewhere, so. Let me think. So after this, we're going to create this creative motor, and then that's going to be the last of those particular creative items. The only creative items after that, technically, would be the infinite fluid storage part and then the infinite storage part. And I'm going to try my best to do those off camera. But again, still show it off. The food quests, this is going to tie into our farm quest, really. We're just going to have a heyday of once we get our farm going, we're just going to be creating so much food. But I'm excited to do that. Though I have a confession. I have, unknowingly to myself, been lying to you guys this whole time about how this food quest was going to work. And I feel so bad about it because I've said it like several times, and I'm sure y'all have just been waiting because you're like, Zai said this is how it's gonna work. It's how it's gonna work. And if anyone's playing this pack along with me, if you haven't finished it before me, which I'm sure you already have, you'd be like, I've tried to do it the way that Zai's talking about, and it's just not working. So my confession is with the food. With the seeds. Not the trees, I'm gonna ignore the trees. Just with the seeds of Pam's Harvest Craft seeds. I've been talking about putting them in the immersive engineering cloches this entire time, because that works with, like, wheat seeds and pumpkins. I've been doing a lot of things with the garden cloche. But I've made the realization, because I went in here and I just decided, for whatever reason, I don't know what possessed me, but I clicked on what the recipes the garden cloche does. And I noticed there was only 7 pages, which seemed wrong. Because I'm like, well, each page is only 3 recipes, and there's a lot of seeds. There's more than 21 seeds. So what I have discovered is that the garden cloches actually don't do any, and I mean any, of the Pam's Harvest Craft seeds. They will do Farmer's Delight seeds. They will do normal Minecraft stuff. And then immersive engineering like the hemp. That's it. That's it. So, I actually can't do this. I am gonna have to do it the way that Nasso said to do, which is using the mechanical crafter, or the mechanical harvester. So, this quest, getting the motor, the creative motor, is actually way more beneficial than I thought it was gonna be, because that means I get infinite crankage. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but it's the one I'm using. And be able to actually, like, get our food and stuff that way. So I am gonna have to lean a little bit more into create than I thought I was going to have to previously. which is not a problem. It's just different. It's going to be a little bit more challenging than I was prepared for, but that's okay. But yeah, I apologize about that. I'm sure Nasos has also been thinking to himself of what the heck is I going on about? She's crazy. Over. Yeah, that's fine. Yay! We did it. But yeah, so now we have this creative motor, and that's exactly what we're going to use it for in the future. Not right now, of course. I'm gonna move that back. I guess I'll just, Oh, that's where my... You know, I put a chest here to be like, this is where my creative items are, or my create items are, and then I just ignore them because I forget they exist. It's fine. But yeah, so with the food quest, which I actually haven't even showed you guys, and I've been excited about this. So I finally finished digging out the area, and I'm sure maybe some of you have noticed on the map, I haven't really flown or been too close over here a lot, so it might not have been obvious. But first of all, I have this waterfall, which I do admit is not the prettiest thing in the world, but I also wanted to keep this Gaia area functional, and I believe it is with the way that I've done it. It just means that I didn't have a lot of wiggle room over here unless I wanted to redo the mountain, which I don't, so blah blah. Anyway, I do have a waterfall here, and that's because it connects this beautiful lake that I have created, which I have put some of these slimy trees, but I've put a custom tree in the center using a different wood. So it's the same slimy leaves, but I'm using jelly shroom bark from the Better End Forge, because I thought it'd be interesting because it's a very similar blue, but it's a different blue, if that makes any sense. And then in the leaves, I put these mossy glowshrooms, hymenophore, also from, and it's from a different tree. So this is all like, it's 3 different trees I've mashed together. Because technically I think the hymenophore is, well, it's a mushroom. So, but it glows, and I thought it was pretty. So I put it in this tree, and I put it in the middle of the lake, and I think it's pretty, and I really like it, and I'm proud of it. So, because I don't usually do a lot of custom trees, and usually when I do, I'm not that good at them. So I'm quite proud of how this one turned out, and it allows me to light up this area. I've also put some, the same lanterns that the Feral Flare lanterns, I just put them really deep underground, so that way it's not affecting the roof at all, but the lake's lit up. Now, I will say, there is a little bit of this lake that is river. Yeah, river. So, fish do sometimes spawn here. And now I'm wondering if I've already talked about this before, because I can't remember. Because I've actually shown this off to my family, because I was proud of it. And I can't remember if I was talking to them about it or talking to y'all about it, because I do it with the same enthusiasm, because I just really like this. It's really pretty. But I'm going to explain it again. Anyway, there's a little river here for biome stuff. So cold ocean river. So every once in a while, if I'm over here long enough, salmon and cod will start spawning. Now, they're weird because I think this is such a little area because it immediately turns into like Snowy Beach and all that around it. They like kind of spawn and then don't move. Like, they'll move a little bit, like in a block or whatever, but they don't like swim around like I normally see fish spawn. So, I mean, it's fine. I'm not going to complain about it. I was actually surprised because it was while I was building, like, all of this stuff and trying to put sand in, I just, like, turned around and there was a salmon in my face, and I was like, ah! I was like, what's trying to attack me? And I was like, nah, it's just a fish. So, but yeah, I think this is really cute. I also found, ooh, I know I didn't explain this to you guys. I showed my brother. I found this blue sand that's really neat because I was just looking at, like, the blocks that I have available to me in here, and I don't remember what I think I just typed sand because I was like, I wonder if there's any, like, blue blocks that I can use with the slimy sky slime that kind of will blend it off into the stone a little bit better. Because I could also make all of this grass, but most of it's going to be like a building for, or at the time I thought a building for the cloches. Now I still have to do kind of a flat farm, but we'll figure that out later. But I was thinking, like, going into stone and stuff, so I just searched sand, and I'm like, there is a blue sand, and I was so, like, excited about it, because I was like, I've never seen a blue sand before, and I was just like, cool, but I'm like, why is it called gravy sand? Now, I made, there's 2 assumptions that you can make with this, and I made the correct one, but I didn't understand how it worked. Gravy, you can think gravel sand, but this is blue, and that's not right. This actually looks a little bit more like soul sand. So gravy, I thought gravity. So I was actually worried because I thought when I made this that when I placed it down, it was just going to float away. Because I know that I've seen blocks before do that. I don't remember what mod packs or anything like that. But there's some things that are like anti-gravity. So that's what I thought was going to happen. But that didn't happen at all. So I googled it because I was like, why is it called gravity sand? There's got to be a reason it's called gravity sand. Which, by the way, it's just an underpearl and some sand. It's super easy to craft. If you give it a redstone signal... I know it's hard to see because it's dark, but if you give it a redstone signal, it will do the anti-gravity thing. Now, what's fun, though, is it doesn't have to stay there. If you give it another redstone signal, it'll fall back down, just like normal sand. And the fun thing that I like about this is that you can make an infinite loop. And it can just keep going forever and ever. And if you time things perfectly, you can kind of like have a thing going because they'll kind of phase through each other too. You just gotta be kind of careful with it because if you place it wrong, it'll land on there and then it'll stop your whole thing. But yeah, you could kind of have like a weird kind of cool thing going on. Like if you ever wanted any movement, like I don't know what you would apply this to, but if you ever want any movement, gravity sand's your bud. Like it does exactly what I want it to do. But I'm gonna have to stop. Because I don't know if there's anything that can affect it if you do too much. I doubt it. But, yeah, it's a really cool looking sand. It's neat. I just gotta be really mindful that if for whatever reason, if I build anything right next to the lake, that I have to be careful about redstone, because otherwise my beach will float away. My only thing is I wish on the map that the gravity sand also showed as blue. Instead, it does still show as sand. But honestly, even with it showing as sand on the map, it's still pretty pretty. It kind of just makes it look like the water itself is kind of like going onto the shore a little bit map-wise. There's the salmon. See, they do spawn. Oh, and these are swimming more normal. I guess I was losing my mind before. I mean, they do kind of stay in this general area anyway. But yeah, like my little thing with the slimy grass, I want to use it so much because in my mind, I'm like, oh, the water's magical. It's gonna make things this blue magical color, hence like why there's this big beautiful blue tree in the middle. Like I don't know why I've clung on to that, but that's what I've clung on to for as one of my little theories of this world. And though I do remember I was having a slime issue because of course I was, because of the spawn slime. If y'all ever if you want this type of grass or the other slime types, but you don't want the slimes, you can put this thing down called a mega torch, and it prevents natural spawning of hostile monsters in a radius. And I think the radius is about 16 blocks, so it'll do a 33 by 33 area if you're counting the torch itself. If you don't count the torch itself, it's smaller than that. But it'll do that. It'll do that. So I put those down, and even though I don't personally consider slimes hostile, and I think it's because they don't really do that much damage, they are hostile. So it stopped them spawning, which is really nice because I put it over there. I don't have any slimes. I know my field over here is still destroyed, even though I fixed it before, but that's because that was before I got the torches down for the slime spawn and so forth. But yeah, so if you ever have an area, or if you just want to keep an area dark, I'm pretty sure this is also a good solution, because you can put it under the ground and it won't create any light. So like my solution is I've been putting half slabs everywhere of stone, but that's also a good solution if you want to keep an area dark without actually having to, well, do what I did. While also not allowing things to spawn. So actually, if I really wanted to here, because I know I've been talking about I keep the ground lit up because there's these pathways and stuff. If I really, really wanted to keep the ambiance, I can get rid of a lot of these feral lanterns and put the mega torches down instead, so I can get more of the natural light without things spawning. So I'm not gonna do that because that's not so great for recording. You guys need to see, and I already do keep my brightness up to bright. So yeah. But I have been talking for a little bit too long now, and I'm glad that we got done what we got done. We got a lot of our creative quests done, so I think for next episode, in between episodes, of course, off camera. I'm going to be getting the materials for this. There's probably going to be a couple episodes before I come back to this quest anyway, because I need so much materials, and it's just going to be kind of time consuming. I really should set up an auto crafting recipe in the refined storage mod pack makers. He'd love if I did that because he's been encouraging me to. So I probably should do that, especially at least for the beginning first steps, like the 1K storage units and stuff, just to make my life a little bit easier. If y'all heard that, it's my phone telling me it's bedtime. If you didn't, hey, my phone told me it's bedtime. Oh, I need to stop talking. I just get so excited. I love Minecraft. I love this pack. So yeah, next episode, that's the words I was gonna use. I think we are gonna start the food quest. I've been procrastinating on it for too long. We are gonna start the food quest. But, I do want to kind of start the, mine colonies quest as well, because that is one that is gonna be mostly in the background. So I want to at least show you guys the beginnings of that anyway, so, because most of it's gonna be just, like, waiting for the citizens to spawn, and then they get their jobs, and then they gotta build the buildings. There is gonna be a bit of babysitting on my end for getting them the materials that they need in order to build, but the building itself is not fast, especially if you hire the wrong villager in the very beginning, because it kind of auto-hires, and I think it's supposed to make the best choice, but I don't know if it always does, because in my test world, when I was looking at the different buildings and stuff I wanted to use, my initial builder sucked at her job, and then I got another builder. I built another building, so I had another one going, so I can have two going at the same time, and he was so fast. I had him doing, like, 2 buildings at the same time. She would do 1. So, but there is also the difference. She was one of my original 4 villagers, where he was one that I don't remember if he was born or I hired him from, I'm just gonna say, the outer world, because I don't know where he came from otherwise. I don't know, but either way, you got pay attention to your villagers, and if you need to fire somebody, fire them. They're gonna be fine. Just they can do something that's better suited for their skills, whatever that may be. I need to stop talking. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any tips, tricks, or anything like that, please put it down in the comments below. I always greatly appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.